What is up, guys? Mr. Basie here, and today we're doing some more Seduce Me to the Demon War, back at it yet again with Damien's route. Now today I hope to finish it up. I hope to actually wrap it up today. We did get stuck last time, and a lot of you gave me your opinions and feedback, which I really appreciate. I really did thought I sided with him, but I went back to the very beginning, started from the absolute beginning, you know, skimmed through it to basically look at all the choices, and I chose the things that I thought, without a doubt, would support his decision. Okay, I didn't interject, I didn't make a comment, okay, I kept my mouth shut, okay, I was basically a puppet, and I sided with him the whole time. So I think that might be what you got to do, or at least that's what I did, to just ensure that we got the ending that where, you know, he becomes human. I hope it doesn't kick us in the ass later, I really hope it doesn't, but you know what, he wants to be human. I can tell he specifically said it. He doesn't want to be human, he doesn't want to be demon, rather. He wants to be human. And so we're going to try to give that to him, and hope it all turns out okay. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason not to. I think the majority of people would do that for someone that they love. They would just let them do what they want. I mean, it might be dangerous, but hopefully our love prevails this time. All right, think of Damien. I think that's the last thing we need. This is the final straw. We got to think of him, okay? Right? Right? We got to keep him on our mind, all right? That's good. Death wasn't going to take him from me. Damien was going to stay here with me, and I would hold on to him until the very end. Flames, great, embracing. Wait, what? Wrapping me in its tight embrace and burning over my skin? Shit!
No!
Oh, whoa. Oh, wait, this is nerves. Blinding my nerves in endless pain and wrapping my mind in agony. I don't think that was there before. In a last attempt to live, Damien sat up and wrapped his arms around me, clinging to me tightly.
I won't let you go!
Tell me that this isn't what saves me. The fact that he wraps his arms around me, you couldn't have done that? That's not my fault. That's not because I chose to be a puppet, okay? I was literally puppet fucked from Spooky's House of Jump Scares. I didn't say anything, okay? Because I did that, so he just likes me complacent. That's what it is. That's how he likes his women. Oh, come on now, that's fucked. I winced through the pain between us and gripped Damien in return, the flames intensifying in our embrace. I won't let you go either, even though you treat me like a bitch. I was in tears, hoping deep within my heart that we would live. I loved him and he loved me. We needed to survive. Whoa, fabulous. In a burst of white light, Damien and I were suddenly pushed from each other. The light became blinding. My body felt warm, but there was suddenly no pain. No, tell me this was my fear from the beginning. I hope we didn't swap. He's gonna feel like such shit. There was no fire around me, no damage done. I was just wrapped in a white light. Was I dead? My lungs still took in air, my heart was still beating, and my skin felt as warm. I was alive. Then what had happened? Slowly the light faded from the room, revealing the war room once again. I had fallen to the ground, aches rushing through my body as I looked around. What did we do? What in God's name is that? As my eyes locked onto Damien, I gasped, seeing him floating in the air with a large black orb floating in front of his body. His eyes were lifeless. No! But his skin was still saturated with life. Ew, this makes it sound so gross. Damien? What? Tentacles in the ass? Diana's voice forced me to look over, gasping as she glared hard at Damien and held out her hand at the orb in front of him. The orb began to trickle an inky black energy that danced through the air and sailed towards Diana's hand, burning into her palm and fading into her skin. She winced as the veins within her purple-tainted skin began to glow a black color. That's gross. That's not healthy at all, I'm sure. Snaking through her bloodstream, yeah, definitely not healthy, through her hands. As the black energy left the orb began to lighten from a pure black to a silver to finally a white. This is so sick. Wow. So it's like a legitimate normal soul. That's insane. This was happening. Damien was becoming human. As the orb finally developed a pure white color, the orb floated into Damien's body and made him gasp out for air, eyes finally brimming with life. Damien? Damien fell forward, causing me to reach out and capture him in my arms. He instinctively wrapped his arms around me and toppled over, landing with me on the floor and him on top of me. Oh, delicious. Oof! What kind of damn... Despite the pain in my body, I could feel Damien breathing, hear his heart beating, see his eyes as they looked down at me in complete shock and disbelief. I felt surprise run through my own body. My own mind and emotions. We did it. We had done it. I lifted a weak arm and cupped Damien's cheek, seeing him take everything in. Damien, are you good? You feel any different? You feel alright, bro? Ween piece okay? I was sure he was lost on what to say. I was as well. I felt tears gather in my eyes as I wrapped my arms around him and hugged him tightly. You're alive and human. I could feel it in my soul. He was human, just like me. He had gotten his wish, and he was alive to see it. Damien began to shudder in my arms, agreeing with my statement, and hugged me tightly, crying into my shoulder. I thanked every deity I knew. Are you kidding? Every star in the sky. It worked. It really worked. Oh shit, croissants are intimidating? I looked over at Diana to see her form a large gem in her unaffected hand and slam it into her palm, directly over the source of the black veins, dancing up her arm. They slowly stopped their ascent up her arm and began to trickle down into the gem. The jewel that was once pure and clear like a cut diamond became black like an onyx. As the last of the black energy faded from Diana, she toppled over and gripped the gem to her chest, making sure not to land on it. So this is like literally like a spirit gem from Skyrim, you know? Like one of those ones that already has a soul in it.
God damn it all.
What do you mean? You did great. I couldn't help but stop the happy laughter that erupted from me at the realization of it all. Everything was okay now. We were all right. Damien lifted his head up and slowly pulled me up to where we were both sitting up, wiping his eyes and smiling from ear to ear at me in pure happiness. I smiled and leaned in, kissing his nose gently. We did it. Damien nodded and hugged me to him before looking over at Diana, seeing her look up at us with an unamused grimace.
You almost lost your lives, and you're smiling.
We did it. Like shit. Like just because it was dangerous doesn't mean like we didn't accomplish it. Like if everyone was crispy, you know, we might be crying a bit. We might be too dead to cry, but we might be crying, you know, but we lived. We did it. So yeah, we're smiling. Damien and I looked at each other before Damien let out a breath and hugged me to his side.
Humans are always risking their lives. You wouldn't understand.
Neither would you. You just became human. I mean, I'm not trying to bust his nuts here, even though he's doing that himself. I mean, let's just listen. Okay?
Humans are
busting nuts. Okay? Always. So that's what he's always doing. Busting nuts. Every time I walk in the room, he's making some sort of like. I laughed as I did Damien. What? Oh, I'm sorry. I laughed as did Damien while Diana rolled her eyes and slowly stood up, still gripping the gem in her hands. As we stood, Diana tossed the gem at Damien.
Huh? What is this?
It's your black shit, dude.
Your weapon against the Demon Lord. That gem holds all of your powers, and is slowly intensifying its power. Break it, and you'll be able to use your powers one last time at full potential.
Let's fucking go! So we have a weapon now! That's all we needed, dude. This is great. Now we have my freaking wolf, which is pretty badass. I mean, let's be honest, right? And then we have his whatever stuff he can do. I guess we'll find out. I stared wide-eyed at Diana. Where did this come from? Diana looked back at me and crossed her arms, raising an eyebrow.
You're not the only one who saw Damien's fate in a dream. I would rather not see another person die at the Demon Lord's hands, no matter who it is, and I'd rather not be blamed for it.
Thanks. I was stunned. Diana had seen it too. She let out a sigh and began to walk towards the exit of the room, and she didn't say shit. I didn't notice that. Most likely drained from the experience.
We head out in the morning. I will brief everyone of the plan once we get to the Demon Lord's castle.
Thanks. Alright, with that, Diana left us alone. Damien gripped to me and looked down at me, cradling the gem in his hand in amazement.
So, we're set.
Yep. I nodded happily. Yeah. As soon as she comes on the screen, I'm like... Every fucking time. Our private moment was interrupted by the rushing of the incubi and their wives. Of course, she's the first one. Into the room, most likely being let in by Diana after she left.
Everything good?
We're standing, right? No one is crispy, right? Does the absence of crispiness not, you know, tell a story here? Damien and I looked at each other. I'm just fucking with her at this point. Damien and I looked at each other in shock before nodding to the group, hugging each other lovingly. Yup, just two humans cuddling. Gross. The group seemed to be excited at the news, gathering around us and visually checking us for any wounds or bruises. To my surprise as well, there were none, even after the attack from the Black Flames. Diana really pulled through. Yeah, right, she stopped us from being crispy. Damien, now being crowded, pushed everyone back, pocketing the gem.
We're okay. We're okay.
Ew, we're okay.
We still need to check on you, Damien, to make sure.
I giggled and stepped away from Damien, kissing his cheek. I was exhausted and needed to get to bed before I passed out in Damien's arms. Room the whole ordeal? What the fuck? Let them check you out, Damien. I'll be in the room. Damien stared before nodding, understanding that I needed rest, before surrendering himself to the scanning eyes of his brothers. I took that moment to wave to the others and sneak out towards my room. I began to make my way back to my room, but stopped as I heard the sound of whispering voices sneak out through a barely opened door.
So we're all in agreement?
Oh my god, look. I'm just going to jump in real quick. We're going to see Sergeant holding his, his warm shit. But I want to see if Rabbit says anything different, considering we're actually training with her this time. Or she sounds like she was going to throw me under the bus at one point. Maybe not. Who knows?
We have to.
Okay, yeah.
Indeed.
I know who's going to push me into the room this time. Fucking whatever his name is. Barnacle or whatever. What were they talking about? I was so engrossed. Figure coming up behind me and pushing me into the room.
My lady.
I knew it!
Listen in.
Fucking Barnacle!
Thank you, Bajang.
No. I grimaced, now out in the open. The four stared at me, cold eyes, great. Holding shit, see? That's a dump holder right there, check that out.
Was the last thing you heard.
See? She gets so aggressive. I was your student. I could have just been beating my meat in the hallway, probably, that's normal. Oh, okay, so here... Oh, okay, here's the new thing.
Doesn't deserve the throne.
Here's the new thing, alright. So this is her segment, I guess. This is the trainer. Who you're training with. I looked to Rabbit, shocked to hear her say that. She had joined the rebellion because Diana wanted to make things better. Why did she not deserve the throne now? Rabbit turned fully to me and stepped forward.
We all joined the rebellion to make this world a better place. But Diana has proven that she doesn't care about anything other than defeating the Demon Lord for revenge. She is not a real leader.
Okay. I understand. She's a little butthurt. I understand. But I think you're being a bit too rash, okay? I really do. Because she literally said she would help her in her quest to change the caste system. She just didn't say she wanted to do it overnight, and I think that she gave her a pretty reasonable, explanation as to why. I would, if I were her, I'll be perfectly honest, I would be upset, because I wasn't told this like a long time ago. It's kind of a little bit late to be discussing this, considering. But, I wouldn't want like the chance of a bunch of people dying. Because then that it's partially your fault. You pushed the matter, right? If it ends up going through. I wouldn't want that. Is it because she didn't approve of what you said to her? Rabbit flinched a bit, remembering that I had eavesdropped on that conversation as well. She looked at the ground and let out a sigh.
I joined this rebellion to fix the broken caste system. With Diana on the throne, nothing will change. Demons will still be forced to live as they were, and my kind will continue to be nothing more than slaves and servants.
What do you mean? You're triggering me. Alright, well, let's just see what she has to say. The rage in Rabbit's eyes as she looked up at me could kill. I felt myself become fearful of her as she took another step towards me.
If this madness has dulled her sense of duty to the world, and I join this war for nothing, then I will be happy to rid the world of her, if that keeps my kind from being kept under her foot.
Damn. That's cold-blooded. That's reptilian right there, girl. Alright? Let's not get racist. Her cause was noble. I felt myself become lost in whose side I was on as Rabbit closed her eyes and took a breath to calm down. So, we'll just... Okay, damn, fake quiet. I finally returned to our room and flopped onto the bed, letting the events of my time in the Abyssal Plains replay in my mind. I was trapped here, and soon enough, I was about to go marching into battle against the Demon Lord for my freedom. Alright, the more I thought about it, the more surreal the feeling became. I was going to be in a room, meeting a powerful adversary face to face, and set myself free of the curse he brought down upon me. As Damien entered the room at last, I smiled and stood, walking over and wrapping my arms around him as he entered my embrace.
Tonight is our last night here.
Does that mean human ween? Yeah. We held each other, locked in silence and unable to say anything more. We had been in a heavy predicament, and we worked through it. It was something we did together. All we could do in the moment was hold each other and listen to our synchronized heartbeats. As the thought of tomorrow danced in my head, she gets scared, right? Yep, she scares herself. Make love. Here we go. We're getting the human ween. I needed to hold him and treat the night like it was the last night of the world. Tomorrow was unpredictable, but tonight was guaranteed. So take out the ween. Where is it? Skip. We've worked so hard, Damien. Let me reward you. Well, hold the phone. Let me go back a bit. This was a little bit... Hold on. I'm sorry, I skipped. I wrapped my arms tightly around Damien, burying my hands in his orange hair as he slowly encircled his arms around my waist. Damien pulled me close, knowing exactly what I wanted to do. What? Damien slowly stepped us back towards the bed and fell forward onto it, spinning me down to the mattress with his body as he claimed my lips with his own. I combed my fingers through his hair lovingly. Each touch of his fingers embedded themselves into my memory as I took in his scent, his warmth, his kisses over my skin. I barely felt him slowly ease my legs apart. Pardon? And kneel between them as he danced his tongue, against mine. Whew! That was about to get really crazy. A part of me, however, felt a bit bold. I wrapped my arms and legs around Damien before rolling us over to where I straddled his hips, surprising him. As he looked up at me in shock, I smirked down at him lovingly. Alright, yeah, we're rewarding. Damien gulped slightly, taking in his new turn of events, before I leaned in and kissed him ever so sweetly, brushing my hands over his chest and feeling his skin beneath my fingers. That's kind of gross. You don't feel, well, I guess beneath, yeah, okay, it wasn't in between. I was going to say you're like literally reaching into him at that point. As he quaked beneath me, I felt a rush of pride run through me. The fuck? Some sort of lion? I like this a bit. I would explore it further. What the fuck? Some scientific shit? I did enjoy this a bit. I would explore it further. Undressing us as slow as possible and grinding myself against him. Shit! We're at the club or something? His hands, not bound anywhere, caressed over the skin available to him as his eyes became lost in my form. While a mild form of shyness rushed through me, I had to run through with the mood. I wouldn't let myself get out of this swing of heat between us, even as his hands rubbed against every weak spot I had. Pardon. As it became unbearable to deny ourselves our carnal needs any longer, we ravished each other and finally made love, gripping to each other and letting our moans become lost in each other's mouths and shoulders. Damien's hands combed over my back as I dragged my fingers along his chest, seeing the red welts of... Shit, can you stop? Of my dragging slightly form over his skin. It was erotic to see. So she's some sort of masochist? But as Damien's hands locked themselves onto my hips and began to guide our rhythm, I became lost in the pleasure within me instead. Oh, he's just speeding up now? The bed creaked. The bed creaking only became louder the faster and rougher we became. Yeah, he's just pounding it out. We were uncaring of who was around us or who would hear us. We were dancing through euphoria together and we weren't going to be stopped. It was a perfect ecstasy from beginning to end. When Damien wrapped his arms around me and held me close, both of us quaking in our embrace. I could only stare into Damien's gorgeous purple and blue eyes, becoming lost in them as exhaustion began to crawl through me, as well as among other things. I love you, Damien, forever.
I love you too. My life is yours.
Delicious. We both passed out in each other's arms, lost in our bliss. The world didn't matter until the morning, but even then, we knew we'd be alright. Tomorrow would decide everything. Alright, the battle! Wait, what did she say?
It's just, she said.
Oh, I thought I said that's part of the bitch. I was like, what the fuck?
We'll make sure we'll finish this and rush. We'll be right.
Let's get to the forest. Here we go! Skipped a little bit just because I wanted to get right to the good stuff. Everything else is pretty much the same, so you're not missing out on nothing. But I want to see. This is the moment, guys, where we get to see the craziness. And I think this is probably going to be one of the most brutal, or at least coolest ones in a long time. If not the most coolest one. We'll have to see what Sergeant gives us, because I think that'll be pretty cool too. So we'll have to check that out. Anyway, the journey was surprisingly uneventful. What? The sound of the war boomed beside us outside of the tree line, causing me to cover my ears a bit from the volume, but I shook my head and pressed forward, not wanting to become distracted. The goal was to get to the castle. I had to focus. As a line of incoming imps came into view, I glared and stopped, placing a hand over my chest and preparing to summon my guardian. This is where it gets good. Waves of energy, or at least I hope, waves of energy pulsed around me before I jutted my hand out, forcing the familiar lavender and white mist to shoot out from my hand and slam itself onto the ground ahead of me. I could hear my incubus jump back at the sound, surprised to see my summoning and started staring in awe at it at the same time.
Huh? What is that?
It's my thing! Check it out. However, I didn't care at that moment. All I could focus on were the imps that I had successfully stopped and intimidated with my animal. Move out of my way! I jutted my hand forward, pointing at the imps that were stunned from my animal's cry, and commanded my animal forward. Go! Oh shit! I rushed forward, causing my incubus to follow behind me as my animal continued to claw and bite through the imps in our path, uncaring if they were attacked or frozen still from fear. The more imps that fell, the more reinforcements became shell-shocked. Some managed to drive their weapons into my animal, causing me to flinch and reel back a bit from the pain, but I pressed forward. Wow, we're bossing it, knowing that I would be alright in the end. My animal pushed forward as well, animalistic in its carnage. The remaining imps began to quake and step back in fear, most likely never seeing a human use magic and slowly decimate their number. I didn't seem to mind as they became open targets for my animal to strike down as we rushed onward towards the castle. Shit. My incubus, despite probably being surprised at my animal's carnage, followed us as I continued forward, commanding my animal through every imp that came in our way. I had lost count of how many crossed us, but I didn't care. Damn. All I cared about was getting to the castle. And we're there. So let's just slip on through, shall we?
I love you so much.
Whoa, that transition is it's cool, but kind of gross at the same time. If you look just at his face, oh my god, it's kind of creepy. Look at this.
I love you so much.
Like, what the fuck? Oh, this music's kind of cool. It's like fucking Metal Gear Solid. The castle halls were grim and dark, sending shivers through me as Damien and I ran through them towards the sound of battle. All across the ground were bodies of slaughtered imps and soldiers, most likely dead by Diana's hand. Damn, she just fucking single-handedly wiped them, dude. Fucking crossed everybody off. As we finally arrived in the throne room, Damien held out his arm to stop me and protect me from the battle waging within. Diana and the Demon Lord were in some sort of energy deadlock with a bolt of red energy streaming out of the Demon Lord's hand and colliding with a purple flame that came from Diana's. The two energies pressed against one another, unrelenting in their violent crash, as each stream of energy tried to obtain dominance over the other. The Demon Lord and Diana were equally matched.
Give up, succubus. This world will bow to me.
Over my dead body!
That can be arranged.
Knew he was going to say that. A burst of red energy pulsed around the Demon Lord's body, intensifying his bolt of lightning in the deadlock and forcing Diana to step back from the sheer force of it. Despite this, Diana pressed back, regaining her momentum and her ground. Damien and I remained still and quiet, watching the bout. Damien was meant to be backup in case something happened to Diana, and thankfully she didn't necessarily need help for now, or at least it didn't look like it. Maybe Damien would have to step in after all. Or Damien wouldn't have to step in after all. Diana shut her eyes and seemed to focus her energy, large black and purple flames slowly crawling around her body in a threatening aura as the power behind her energy stream increased and began to push back hard against the Demon Lord. As Diana opened her eyes, I gasped as they revealed themselves to be completely covered in gold. For a moment, the Demon Lord seemed to struggle maintaining his place, stepping back to try and remain upright at the hard push Diana was throwing his way. However, as he turned his body, the Demon Lord spotted me and Damien at the entrance of the hall, and a smirk grew on his face.
Oh, uninvited guests.
Oh shit. Diana suddenly turned her head our way, surprised at the acknowledgement, which caused her momentum to falter a bit. Taking the chance, the Demon Lord released another pulse of energy at Diana, forcing her to bend back a bit and stumble on her feet. Damn it. No! Diana's eyes returned to normal as she raised her other hand to assist in the stream of energy from her end of the deadlock, attempting to push forward again and regain her place. The Demon Lord, however, laughed.
It's useless!
But it just worked. Damn it! With the final push, the Demon Lord let out an angry snarl and forced his energy forward, causing Diana to slam back against the far pillar and lose concentration in her attack. Smirking evilly, the Demon Lord took the chance and shot a bolt of red lightning at Diana, electrocuting her. Oh, damn. Diana! Damien growled and stepped forward, but through her torture, Diana turned her head and glared hard at Damien, making him freeze in place.
Not your turn!
Hell. Despite being covered in red-tinted bolts of lightning, Diana began to focus her energy again and formed a deep purple aura around herself, letting the Demon Lord's attack bounce around her new barrier. With a breath, Diana let her energy pulse out, dissolving the Demon Lord's attack, and shot a burst of purple flames in retaliation. Her flames slammed themselves into the Demon Lord's chest, punting him backwards toward the pillar opposite of hers. Jeez, man, this is crazy. I could see the light in Diana's eyes flicker from blood red to gold as she locked eyes with the Demon Lord. Something began to burn beneath her murderous gaze, as if her simple stare was powerful enough to burn through the most courageous of hearts. However, the smirk plastered on the Demon Lord's face made my body shiver at the sight. He was nowhere near fazed from Diana's glare. In fact, he seemed to find it amusing from the look in his eyes.
So, the rebel queen is protecting the mistake. How pathetic.
Damn, dude.
The only mistake that lives in this world is you.
The echo of the Demon Lord's laughter bounced through the hall, with an unforgiving reverb, invading my ears and pounding inside against my mind. I could feel his dark energy pass through his voice and shake my soul. This wasn't a nightmare or a vision. The Demon Lord was right in front of me, and his presence was terrifying. Diana and the Demon Lord began to circle one another, with Diana moving to stand in front of us, while the Demon Lord positioned himself in front of his throne at the foot of the something. However, I could feel the anxiousness at Damien's, in Damien's arms as I held it to me, keeping him in place. He wanted to fight the Demon Lord, but Diana wasn't letting him, and it was bothering him to no end.
Let me help.
Oh shit.
I don't need help.
Damn. With that answer, Diana sprinted forward, summoning her wings and shooting herself like a bullet towards the Demon Lord. As she passed the midpoint of the room, Diana formed her saber in his hands. Wait, what? And swung it at the Demon Lord. She just gets man hands out of nowhere. To her disgust, the Demon Lord parried with ease with his own sword, knocking her saber back and swinging to get a slice of her. The battle became... Damn, this sounds intense. The battle became a quick slam of dodgers and parries from the Demon Lord and Diana, the sound of steel clanging violently in the air. It became a challenge still, keeping Damien near me. I could feel the anger and need for battle in his tense muscles, ushering me to squeeze it and pull him towards me cautiously. He obeyed, but who knew how long he would. What caused me to look away from Damien was the sound of Diana crying out in pain. Oh no! I watched as Diana's body flew across the room and slammed itself into the nearby wall, part of the balcony above it collapsing and crumbling on top of her. Oh shit, dude! I could almost hear bones breaking from the rocks that had fallen on her. Dinah, no! I could see Dinah digging her way through the rubble, her hand clawing out of an opening in desperation to pull herself out. However, Damien took that chance to march towards the Demon Lord, ready to take up the fight. Oh, great, dude. Seeing his new opponent, the Demon Lord chuckled darkly and brandished his sword, pointing it at Damien in a taunt.
So, you've come to try and stop me? You're as foolish as I remember.
You know nothing about me.
Damn.
I may not, but I remember all about your mother.
I like how he just admitted it. That sparked the flare in Damien's rage. Damien swiped his hand into his pocket and pulled out the gem Dinah had given him. From the grip he had on it, I was surprised it didn't smash between his fingers. However, before Damien could step forward, a flash of purple zipped across the room and slammed into the Demon Lord's body, shoving him into a pillar and successfully destroying it with his body. Wait. What? Destroying what? What the fuck just happened? I'm confused as shit.
I'm not done with you yet.
Okay. The room began to slowly shape into the reflection of my nightmare. With rubble and stone glittering the ground, Dinah floated in the air on her wings, but I could tell that her leg and at least a rib was broken, making her curl over herself from the pain. Dinah kept glaring at the Demon Lord, however, gritting her teeth through the pain and forming her saber once again in her hand. As only a couple fingers and her thumb managed to wrap around the handle, I could tell then that her hand was also injured.
You'll have to kill me first before I let you get away.
Oh my god, you're like bossing it out. To see Diana continue to fight was remarkable, but I knew very well that she wasn't going to last long. One more avalanche of rubble on... like, that's just going to happen again. One more avalanche of rubble on her would end her. The Demon Lord rose from the pile of stone that had fallen on him, grinning despite the blood rushing down his forehead.
Then let me finish the job!
Oh shit. She needs to chill for a second. With a cackle, the Demon Lord let his red energy pulse around him, making the rubble around him practically disintegrate, before he lunged forward and slammed his sword into hers, shooting them both towards the opposite end of the throne room. Diana and the Demon Lord returned to their clashing of steel as Damien only fumed at the bout. My instincts screamed at me to pull him back and calm him down, but was I in a place to stop him? Oh, shit. Shit. Oh, let me think about this, man. I'm gonna save first. I think if I calm him down, Diana's gonna die. Let him attack, he saves Diana. Does he die? Probably not, because he's got his demon powers, which we didn't see in our vision, right? That wasn't part of the vision. At least I don't think. I'm probably not in danger. Okay. I feel like if I calm Damien down, Dinah's gonna die, and then Damien's gonna end up attacking anyway. And I'm pretty sure because of what we did, we should be okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and use that logic. Let's let him attack. I think that's the right logic here. I'm hoping I thought it all the way through, but then again, I've only been thinking for like a minute. Damien had every right to be angry. He had every right to join the fight. Who was I to stop him? The faster we ended the Demon Lord, the better. I stepped back, letting Damien grasp onto the gem for a moment before quickly rushing forward, crushing in his hand as he broke it up into a fist to swing a punch at the Demon Lord.
Out of my way!
Oh no. As Damien got close, however, the Demon Lord jutted his foot out, slamming it into Damien's chest and sending him flying back towards the room entrance. He landed hard against the wall and fell to the ground, stunned momentarily from the impact. Damien! I rushed over to Damien, panicked at the event, and sliding to kneel at Damien's side. He gritted his teeth and coughed, trying to catch himself as he slowly began to stand. The Demon Lord, however, was not so patient. The Demon Lord let a pulse of energy slam into Diana's body, forcing her back, before charging head-on towards me and Damien, sword positioned at his side to impale his son into the wall. Fuck. Please. Damien managed to stand, still curled over in lack of air to his lungs, but glared hard as the Demon Lord quickly diminished the distance between himself and us. I had no energy to defend him. I felt myself naturally step in front of Damien. Oh my god. Please no. Why? Wanting so much to protect him, however, I couldn't help but see my life flash for a moment before my eyes. Was this the end?
No!
It's not! With her final shout, Diana rushed between us and became the victim. What the fuck? I'm trying to save her, damn it! Damn it! Damn it, okay? I'm going back. Calm down, let's just let him do his shit. Okay, calm Damien down, fuck. I had to force Damien to accept Diana handling the fight. If he interfered, then Diana might attack him as well, just from her adrenaline rush. And wouldn't that have been good? I grabbed Damien's hand and pulled him back to me, needing to set him straight. As he looked at me, I could see the need for revenge burning in his eyes. I instinctively felt bad, but I knew better than to let him rampage. What? We've been letting him do whatever the fuck he wants the whole story. Come on, or at least that's what we had to do to get him what he wanted. Come on. I insisted and pulled Damien back towards the entrance of the hall, giving Diana and the Demon Lord space to fight. Damien reluctantly followed, not allowing the anger in his eyes to die as he stared and pinned his gaze on the fight. The battle intensified as we settled back in our place. Diana seemed to match equally to her opponent as the fight waged violently between them. Red lightning and purple flames sparked between their weapons, lighting the room with like fireworks. As Diana's saber flew out of her hands and clattered on the floor, she brought her arms up and, to my surprise, began to use her forearms to defend herself from the Demon Lord's blade. Are you shitting me? How are you not getting chopped? How was it possible? I would never know. But his blade would merely clang against the purple taint on Diana's skin, like she was wearing some form of armor, or perhaps her demon markings protecting her. Regardless, Diana defended herself as much as she could until she was met with a kick to the chest, sending her flying back into another pillar and breaking it apart with her body. Her body was completely covered by rubble, so it did happen again. Unmoving and unwavering from the hit. Diana! The Demon Lord finally looked to Damien, tongue darting out to lick his blade as his smirk grew.
Your turn. Mistake.
Jeez. Damien snarled as he finally settled himself, ready to take on his father, not only for the world and for his mother, but for Diana as well. That was I thought the game fucking froze. Damien's body pulsed and caused him to kneel over slightly from the burst of power in his chest with a hiss. Damien growled as his body began to shift, his clothes slowly vanished, and black markings began to crawl across Damien's skin. As his fucking face, look at this. I just gotta get that real quick. As Damien's horns reformed on his head, the air began to shift to one of extreme cold. Something about Damien began to pulse with a dark energy, one I had not seen from him even before he lost his powers. As Damien finally locked eyes with the Demon Lord, a flash of black washed over his gaze, sending a vibration of fear down my back.
End this.
Damn! Look at this! He's the Grim freaking Reaper! Where did you get that? Where did you get that? Okay, is your ass that big? It has that much capacity. Jesus. That would scare the fuck out of me. I even got shivers from that. In a show of power, the Demon Lord let out a snarl and charged forward with his sword. Damien, however, summoned a large, invisible burst of energy, pushing the Demon Lord back. It's fucking Goku, dude. He just flexes his fucking muscles like, and energy waves, dude. The Demon Lord fell back and tumbled back up onto his feet after skidding across the marble with a snarl. I had to cover my face with my hands to block the gust of wind that followed. He really did flex his muscle. Either that or he just got a huge boner. Almost feeling myself slide across the floor on my heels from the wave. Damien was billowing with energy, and it definitely showed. With the look of cold thirst for murder in his eyes, Damien lifted his head and raised his arms to his sides. In a similar fashion to the succubus before him, the black markings on Damien's back began to twist and turn, slowly pulling themselves off of his skin and forming a set of wings. Staring at them, they were surprisingly much larger than Diana's. They shuddered and flapped themselves through the air, pushing gusts of wind forward in a taunting gesture at the Demon Lord. As the Demon Lord began to stand, Damien brought his hands in front of him and formed a large rod of black mist in his hands. It quickly solidified in his grip, and it began to gleam brightly as one end began to protrude and curve into the end of a scythe. I knew that the gem would intensify Damien's power, but just how much did it strengthen? The Demon Lord measured Damien with his eyes, freaking glaring hard and gripping his sword tighter in both anger and a dash of surprise.
How did you get this much power?
I don't answer to scum like you.
Oh, get shittied. With that reply, Damien swooped forward and swung his scythe back to reap through the Demon Lord like a grim reaper. Despite the Demon Lord being able to parry the attack with his blade, the Demon Lord found himself skidding across the floor from the force of Damien's attack. Damn. Damien became relentless and continued to swing and slam his scythe blade into— This is like a this reminds me of Bleach. I'm not even lying. This is legitimately a Bleach fight at this point. I don't know why. It has that feel to it now. Into the Demon Lord's sword. The heavy slamming of steel beating on steel boomed through the room as Damien began to push the Demon Lord back towards his throne. Finally, the Demon Lord was knocked back onto his throne, stunned momentarily as Damien pulled his scythe back, ready to decapitate his enemy once and for all. See, he knows what the deal is. Unfortunately, the blade met with the Demon Lord's sword at the last minute, making me grimace in aggravation. Like, we really want this guy to die. I don't blame her. I wanted this to end. I wanted the Demon Lord to fall already. This dance of death had gone on for far long enough, and there was no reason for this battle to prolong itself any further. The Demon Lord was clinging to his last moments, and every part of me wished he would give up. Damien was more powerful than him. This fight would eventually be over. Damien pressed his body into his scythe, pushing against the Demon Lord. Oh shit, you hear his voice, dude?
Trying to scare me, boy? Let me show you how it's done!
Distracted by the deadlock, Damien was suddenly kicked back through the air. Fuck! Dude!
Trying to scare me?
Sent tumbling in surprise as the Demon Lord rose back onto his feet and locked eyes with me. Stop. Don't even tell me, dude. Don't even tell me. A wave of fear shot through me, and I was locked, frozen in place. Where's the wolf? I attempted to break free, mentally commanding every part of my body to move or do something to stop him, but no muscle in my body obeyed. Damien quickly tumbled back onto his feet, burning his gaze into the Demon Lord before looking back to me and seeing what he was doing to me.
Be glad, boy. I'm setting her free from the demon world.
No! With a sadistic howl, a bolt of red lightning rammed itself into the ceiling, causing a large rock above me to shatter off of the structure and plummet towards me.
Look out!
Diana! The boulder quickly impacted my back. What? It wasn't heavy enough to completely crush me against the marble, but I could tell that I had a broken rib or two. However, I felt a body pressed against mine, barring the boulder from completely smashing me beneath it. I looked up to see a familiar face, wincing at the pain now embedded in her shoulder and arms. Oh shit, Diana! Despite being battered and bloodied, Diana gripped the boulder, pressing most of its weight off of me and taking it on herself, making sure my injuries were limited to just broken bones. Diana growled and pushed the boulder off of us at last, releasing a pained huff of air as she looked to me in concern.
Are you alright?
I could only nod, astonished at the turn of events. Diana was alive. How was that possible? Staring at her, I could tell she was near death's door, but she wasn't going to go down without the Demon Lord going down first. Let's go. I hope she doesn't go down at all. Her wings were pressed hard against her back, seemingly broken, but as she lifted me back up, a hum of purple energy rushed through Diana's body and forced her wings to flex out, snapping them into place once more. That sounds freaking painful.
This battle isn't over. Not by a long shot.
Oh shit. The pair of us looked over at the Demon Lord, seeing him emotionally seethe at the sight of us.
You just don't know when to die, do you?
Diana smirked and stepped forward, holding her hand back towards me and forming a large purple barrier around me.
We've got unfinished business to take care of first. Right, Damien?
Fuck? With an angered nod, Damien stood, gripping his scythe while Diana formed her saber in her hand, materializing a wrap around her hand and the handle to keep it in her grip.
It's over, you bastard.
Oh, damn. Baring his teeth, the Demon Lord gripped his sword and stepped down from the something to meet Damien and Diana halfway.
I will slaughter you both!
Jeez. A violent shudder ran up my spine at his words before Damien and Diana vaulted forward, slamming their weapons into the Demon Lord's parrying sword. At the collision, a bright flash of red, purple, and black energy sparked and lit the room like a large firework. I moved to the edge of the barrier, trying to watch from the safety of the spell around me as Damien and Diana slowly began to beat down the Demon Lord's defenses, the spark between their clashing blinding the Demon Lord. No amount of bravado could save the Demon Lord now. The room slowly began to crumble just from the heavy sound waves of their fighting. Damn! Causing rock upon rubble to fall onto the marble almost like hail. This time, Damien was nowhere near defenseless. Damien would escape with me, and the Demon Lord would die here alone. I felt confidence run through me at the idea. Damien could do this. Tired of the steel battle, Diana swooped around the Demon Lord and slashed at the back of his knees, forcing him to fall forward and drop his sword from the impact. Oh damn, this is it.
Enough! End this!
Enjoy it. Without a breath of mercy, Damien raised his scythe back, taking aim at his target.
Goodbye.
Oh, have fun with it. Your dome's gone. A little bit of a haircut. Say, a flash of black energy swept the room as Damien swung his scythe down and through the neck of the Demon Lord. For a moment, nothing seemed to have occurred. It wasn't until a large, open line appeared on the Demon Lord's neck and his eyes began to glaze over that I realized what had happened. In an angled cut, not perfect by any means, the Demon Lord's head slid off of his shoulders and tumbled to the marble floor, rolling until it stopped on the edge of one of his horns. Oh shit. From his newly opened neck, black and red blood began to gush out and drain as the body fell forward. Damn! Damn! Oh, the sound of his body hitting the ground echoed through the chamber, solidifying the death of his father. The battle had been won at last. See? That's what I'm talking about. You always lob it off. Just lob it off, okay? That solves the problem, all right? Solves the problem right there. I feel like there's many of the times throughout this game where if they had just done that, okay, and that would have been very easy to do, shit would not have gone down, okay? Simple. I could finally breathe. The realization of the entire event coursed through me like a wave as a weight lifted itself from my heart. The curse I knew then had been lifted at last. I was free to go home. I began drowning in feelings of joy and relief, happy that it was all over and overwhelmed by everything that had happened. As the scythe beside me faded alongside the barrier around me, Damien slowly turned to face me, hearing my slowly growing cries of joy. It was almost overwhelming. We won. We really won. Damien, it's just everything's normal again. Damien slowly started to walk towards me, his form fading from the demon he got the chance to be to the human he actually was. His clothes slowly materialized around his body, but the bruises and soot of the battle remained as a reminder of what had happened. Just looking into his eyes, I could see the satisfaction of his deeds blossom in his gaze. He stared at me, happy to see me, and I felt myself grin from ear to ear at him. I wasn't being pulled away from him, nor was he dead. Damien and I were together, and we were okay. Damien finally stopped in front of me and wrapped his arms around me, letting everything sink in within my embrace. As I buried my face in his shoulder, I was tired of seeing the death around me now. All I wanted was to go home. You did it, Damien.
Yeah. We can go home now.
I looked up at him, feeling the ache of the lost adrenaline in my system course through me as I clung to him. The war was over. The war for us was over. At last. Diana, however, collapsed onto the ground on the something of the throne. Panting for air, she stared at the pair of us in exhaustion. Don't fart. Before she could finish her sentence, Diana's eyes rolled into the back of her head and she completely passed out onto the ground. In a panicked rush, I thrust my hand out towards her. Zero! In a flash of light. See, why didn't we do this sooner? I mean, I got an explanation. I did get an explanation, okay? I did. Earlier in one of our previous streams, Michaela did actually say why she doesn't actually call Sarah, like, right away. And it makes sense. But the battle was over at that point. We should have helped her out and be like, hey, Sarah, it's time to come over. Sarah's form materialized and looked around, surprised at the summoning. As his eyes landed on the passing out Diana, he slammed down onto his knees and cradled her in his arms. Relieved to see her breathing, he hugged her to his chest, giving her his energy. I clung to Damien, now mentally wiped out. Who knew the end of a battle was so exhausting? I had fought with Lisette once before, but it was nowhere near as intense as this fight was. Not by a long shot. Damien and I looked at each other, both of us feeling the lack of energy from the battle attempt to consume our bodies, before leaning into one another for a well-deserved rest. One thing was for certain, this chapter of my story had come to an end. Alright, it was over. The war was finally over. As the smoke cleared, we were victorious. The soldiers left standing were the ones to cheer in victory. The sky became littered with the howls and cries of the joyful and happy. The tyranny of the Demon Lord had ended. But what now? Follower, I'm just gonna skip this. We've seen this so many times. What the fuck? She bust nuts? What the hell was that?
Diana became one of the most beloved rulers.
But what
in
happened
all
with
of the
Rabbit?
world. The other rebel leaders supported her, eventually changing the caste system of the world and slowly working their way towards a plane as equal and peaceful as it could be.
See? Jesus. Literally, thick in the head. I'm serious. Dude, you see, you need to be more like, just chill. You just need to chill, okay? Be like her. Be like Kay. Her shoulder's literally dislocated, but she's happy about it, you know? It took a while to get everything back in order. But with the help of Damien's brothers and their wives, we were able to finally have the wedding Damien and I dreamed of. Everything was organized to the T, and it was indeed perfect. The revels of the ceremony and reception still shook through me, even through the honeymoon. It was so unreal. I was married to the love of my life, and we were about to live our lives together forever. I could go on and on about the wedding and the honeymoon, but honestly, after the war, I was more concerned of living my life afterwards. Our lives escalated to new heights after we officially became husband and wife. Damien finally settled on what he wanted to do, dedicating himself to writing small stories for children. That's fucking awesome! Reading to him became a passion, drawing him towards teaching children to learn before they had gotten older. It was beautiful, to say the least. As for me, I began to go through my own success in life, dedicating myself to become exactly what I wanted to be, a pro skateboarder. After all, Damien was dedicated to his work and goal. If I put the same amount of work in as I did in the demon world, then I was going to be okay. However, there was never a day, yeah, we know. While the struggle was rough, Damien was finally able to realize his dream of being human. Even more so, he was able to take down his father and gain revenge not only for his mother, but for what the Demon Lord had done to him as a child. I sat in bed, waiting for Damien to return from his visit to the Anderson Toys Company. He wanted to pitch his next book idea to his brother and hopefully get some funding for it for art and publishing, but I had high hopes for it regardless. It was boring, however, just waiting. I let out a sigh and slid off of the bed, standing and stretching. What to do? I began to let my feet guide me through. The fuck, your feet are guiding you? You're possessed, wanting something to take my attention. As I let my mind wander, I couldn't help remembering the secret alcove the house had, where Damien confessed his love for me. What? I wondered, was it still there? Did you remodel? Yeah. I walked through my memory, trying to find the secret passage once again. With my luck, I managed to find it and walk through it, leaving the passageway open for Damien to find me later in case I stuck around the spring for long. What is this? I walked through the dark passage. Hold on, wait. Dude, I can't go back. Wait, you can't do this to me. I want to see. Oh no. Why? What happened? I can't see this. I can't go back. Is it K? No. What is this? What the fuck is this? I don't know what that is. What is this? What? Why? Why is the console command so close to the dialogue hide button? Oh, God. Looks like we're skipping calming Damien down. Jesus. Once we get to see that again. Hopefully that fixes the little glitch. Please, dear Lord, don't tell me that's there the whole time. Thank God. Ooh, dude, did you see that reaction time? Did you see that reaction time? That was me manually stopping that. That was pretty sick. All right, can I do the right thing now? I still can't see it. You know what? Fine. I just wanted to have a nice moment and enjoy the scene. Fine. I walked through the dark passage and eventually entered the magical space my grandfather had created for the mansion, hiding a beautiful hot spring. The steam was just as heavy as it was when I was last in the space, making me smile, let out a relaxing sigh. A moment in the spring was well worth everything I had gone through. I stripped down and slowly eased myself into the spring, feeling the water slowly drain my aches and stress away the lower I slid myself. As I finally sat down, another sigh couldn't stop itself from escaping me, taking in the fresh air and slight hint of flowers emanating in the air. My thoughts simply melted away. Why don't we just do this every I would do this every night. You understand that? Every night I'd be in this place, letting me simply sit back against the edge of the spring and indulge in the warmth around my body. The only thing that would have made the experience perfect was Damien beside me to cuddle against. As if fate answered my selfish prayer, my thoughts were broken by the sound of slowly approaching footsteps, making me look over with a smile as I spotted familiar purple and blue eyes.
Hey. Enjoying the spring?
He's just peeking like, you enjoying the spring, babe? Damien slowly began to walk towards me, stripping out of his clothes to join me as I smiled and nodded, lying back against the edge of the spring lazily. The water's so good. You're missing out. Whoa, can I do it now? Triggering. Damien chuckled before finally joining me, sitting beside me and wrapping his arms around me. I giggled in return, nuzzling into his shoulder and chest. The water may have been warm, but feeling Damien against me made me feel just right. Damien nuzzled my head with his and kissed over my shoulder gently. How was the meeting with James?
It went good. I got the funding.
Great. I pulled away. He was your fucking brother. He was going to give you funding, right? I pulled away, suddenly excited for Damien. He grinned at me, nodding and affirming his words with a happy expression. That's awesome. Congratulations. Damien laughed and gently kissed me before pulling me into a hug, wrapping his arms fully around me and holding me close. I cuddled into his embrace, waves of joy practically emanating from us. This was the start of Damien's future, and I would be standing beside him, eager to see him grow and become the successful person he wanted to be. Damien softly kissed my cheek and let out a sigh, relaxing his embrace, but not letting me go.
You are such an inspiration to me.
Really? Damien.
It's true. You've supported me and been with me ever since we met. You did everything to protect me and give me everything I could have ever wanted.
I like the voice actor for this. I really do. I really like it, you know? Because it makes it sound like he's actually speaking. He's not just reading. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. Damien slowly pulled away and stared into my eyes. His own full of love. I don't know if it was the script or him, but it's pretty cool. Damien slowly pulled away and stared into my eyes. His own full of love and passion that glimmered into the light of the magically made moon above us.
How did I ever come to deserve you?
I sweetly smiled and cupped Damien's cheek, feeling him nuzzle into my palm as I kissed his cheek softly. I knew very well that our relationship came from us deserving each other. I loved him and he loved me. That's all that mattered in the end. I should be asking the same thing, but I know that we perfectly deserve each other. I felt like I was in some sort of blissful dream, staring into Damien's eyes as he became lost in mine. I love you, Damien.
I love you too.
I couldn't stop my smile from growing before leaning in and kissing Damien lovingly, feeling him kiss back with the same amount of love and passion I had. Our lives would lead us to a blissful future, one full of adventure, joy, and endless waves of affection for one another. He obtained his dream, and I had obtained mine of being a pro skateboarder, and that was my perfect happily ever after. You are my dearest dream, A. Sweet! Digging it. All right, man, that was actually really cool. I really liked Damien's story. I knew that I was going to be surprised by it, but I didn't know how good it was really going to be. Obviously, it was going to be somewhat good. It's part of the game, and the game's fantastic, but I didn't know how it was going to fare, you know, in terms of everyone else's story. You know what? I think that particular story really had a nice connection. You know what I'm saying? It really made you, I don't know, for me personally, I would care more about the whole situation than some of the other ones. You know what I'm saying? Or at least a good amount of the other ones. So obviously, next time we're going to be moving on to Diana. This was really cool. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Kind of a shame we didn't get to that sooner because that was actually pretty cool. I definitely ranked that probably within the top 3 of the ones that we played. And it's kind of a toss-up, to be perfectly honest, between James and Matthew. I kind of liked both of their stories kind of like a tie. Sam's was really interesting, and Damien's was actually really interesting. So we'll have to see what Diana's has in store. I don't know how much different it's really going to be. Hopefully it's actually really cool. So we'll see. I think it's actually going to be pretty epic, especially considering the demo that we played. Seeing a more ruthless side of her, I guess. Anyway. But let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Again, don't forget to drop in for the giveaway because that is still going. we're actually going to be doing the giveaway for Damien next time, okay? Just to give me a little bit of time, because we've done these episodes so rapidly, and I feel like not a lot of people have actually gotten a chance to watch them. We've done them very quickly in succession, compared to how we normally do them, so a lot of you obviously are enjoying that, but I want to give some people enough time to get in on that. So we're probably going to do it either the first episode or the beginning of the second episode, where we give away Damien's code, okay? And then we obviously have one for Diana. So that's really awesome. And once this is all over, once this is all said and done, we'll probably be tackling those singular episodes that I had no idea about. I recently learned about them, and we're going to be tackling those next, okay? And if there's any codes left over after that, we'll be giving them away in those. Okay, and I'll be taking from these entries. So I appreciate you guys. Continue to enter. The entry is still going. It is in just right here and now. It's not going anywhere until the codes are gone, and there will be an announcement when that happens. But, you know, just be under the assumption that the giveaway is going. It's going to keep happening even all the way into Diana's playthrough. So that's how it's going to work. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Definitely make sure you rate the video what you think it deserved. If you did enjoy, please consider sharing the video as well. That kind of stuff really helps me out a lot, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or any social media really, or even word of mouth with your friends. That's really awesome too. Of course, it directly helps me as well as the entire community and is greatly appreciated. So with that being said, if you want to become a sage in training, make sure you subscribe today. And as always, this has been Mr. Basie, your favorite sage, and I'll see you in the next video.